Good evening. My name is Jürgen Steinmetz, joining you from livestream.travel here in Honolulu, Hawaii. Today we're following the story of yesterday's incident on a United Airlines flight from Denver to Honolulu, when shortly after takeoff, this flight got into trouble and engine parts were raining over Broomfield in Colorado. We reported about the story and we showed you videos yesterday. Now, a day later, United Airlines was the first US carrier ordering all their Boeing 777 to be grounded. This was done prior to a similar move, what may be expected in the next day or so by the FAA. The FAA said they would be looking at the Pratt & Whitney PW4000 engine a little bit closer, and this may very well cause that Boeing 777 that carry this particular engine would be grounded. Also, in addition to this incident yesterday, it was revealed today that two other incidents, one also on United on a flight from San Francisco to Honolulu back in 2018, a flight with 378 passengers on board, had similar issues halfway over the Pacific and landed in Honolulu with a damaged engine. We'll show you some of these pictures. They look alarming, but I just wanted to stress that 777s, like any twin engine aircraft, is capable of flying with just one engine. So one engine failure is not a death sentence and not a crash reason for an aircraft, but at the very minimum, it's very scary. So we'll see what will be next with this story. We're going to give you some overview on the development of the Boeing 777 and also a list of airlines that are currently operating Boeing 777 aircraft. Just to be fair, not all 777 aircraft have this particular engine, but many of them do. So this list is not complete of a list with airlines that actually carry this engine, simply a list of clients Boeing revealed that actually operates the 777.
It would be one of the most complex machines ever built. It would take 10,000 people and nearly 5 years to build it. It would cost an estimated $5 billion. Success was anything but certain. The plane would contain more than 4 million parts, supplied by contractors around the world. But would they arrive on time?
Miss your first commitment and then things start to go wrong.
And would they work?
From a technical point of view, I would not put this back on the airplane if I had a choice.
Nothing could be left to chance. 154. This would be the most tested airliner in aviation history. Eventually, lives would be at stake.
There's an apprehension anytime you change technology.
To make it all work, the company would reinvent itself from the inside out. And all of this would have to happen at a time when the world's airline industry was in recession. If the 777 were to fail, the company's future was at risk. Success would keep Boeing ahead of the competition for decades to come. This plane would be built to set a new standard for commercial aviation. This is the story of the building of a 21st century jet. The tests began slowly and gently, starting with lower thrust levels as the team got used to the effects of the larger engine on the plane. Then on the third flight, something unexpected happened. The dramatic explosion was something called a surge. It was similar to a car engine backfiring, and it happened because the pattern of airflow through the engine was badly disrupted.
What happens, and particularly at high power, it's very noticeable in the flight deck. It's a very large explosion that you hear. It's like a shotgun going off. Usually there's a motion in the airplane where the airplane will turn slightly into the engine that surges.
The takeoff surge that we had on RA-01 was certainly an unexpected surge. You never expect the engine to surge at its takeoff power during rotation. That's not something that you want to ever see.
The 777 was 7 months from its first flight, and Boeing and Pratt knew they had to work quickly to find the cause of the surge and fix it.
And the engine that was installed on the 747 had been through a very severe series of tests, including a number of stalls where we intentionally forced the engine to act abnormally. We had stalled this engine over 50 times before we flew on the 747. And we took away some of the goodness, some of the surge margin in that engine. So when we flew on the 747, the engine was in a degraded state. It wasn't a new representative engine, it was a damaged engine that had been worked very hard. And we got an answer from that test program that said, that's not a wise thing to do.
For many of the engineers, the surge was a setback. Alan Mullally insisted on seeing problems uncovered during testing in a positive light.
It was a gift, which was good news. It was a good piece of data. And following analysis of the engine and looking at the test data that we gathered, we realized that the case that surrounds the fan blades needed to be a little stiffer because it was moving a little bit more than what we had in the design. And that allowed a little bit too much clearance between the tip of the fan blades and the case, which allowed the fan blades to stall just like an airfoil.
Hi there, it's Dion Lim in the ABC7 newsroom with some breaking news coming in just moments ago. A United Airlines flight has landed safely in Hawaii after one of its engines failed over the Pacific. This is a flight that originated in San Francisco. Now, I want you to take a look at this video. This was actually a damaged engine photo taken by Eric Hadid that he tweeted from that United Airlines flight 1175. Now, the flight, it took off from SFO just after 9 o'clock this morning. It landed at Honolulu's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport at 2:42 Bay Area time. Now, the aircraft involved, that's a Boeing 777. I know these images look pretty scary, but we should point out that this aircraft has 2 engines and it's actually designed to fly on just 1 engine for more than 3 hours over water. Once again, one of the engines failed over the Pacific on this United Airlines flight, a flight that began in San Francisco.